Hello everyone and welcome to Indieality. Today I'm going to talk about my personal list of the best indie survival games. Enjoy! Raft is an open-world survival game where our heroes start their journey on a small raft and uses materials scattered around the surface of the ocean to turn the raft into a self-sufficient floating fortress. The game is a bit slow-paced at the beginning and you are probably going to struggle to stay well-fed and hydrated, but that causes the progression system to be even more noticeable. The ocean is not the only source of supplies, as you will also find many islands with even more lovely loot to hoard. Over time, the story will start leading you towards certain points of interest which you will need to explore to progress further. The game is really fun to play with friends, but playing it alone is also an interesting experience. It gives us the feeling of being alone in the middle of the ocean, knowing that we can only count on ourselves. I highly encourage you to survive the difficult first few hours of the game, as the longer you play, the better it gets. This War of Mine, a game that shows us World War II from a perspective much different than the one we are used to from other games. In this War of Mine, we control a group of civilians who fight for their lives in a country at war. During the day, your people can build structures, craft items, cook, eat, or just relax and talk to each other to increase the morale. Under the cover of night, one of your people can visit nearby areas to scavenge for supplies. The night escapades are usually very risky, as most of the times you will need to avoid being detected by anyone. One mistake and you lose one of your people forever. Each character has their own specialties and personality, which causes us to get attached to them even more. The game regularly surprises us with special events, which often force us to make tough decisions. Would you share your last medicine with a dying old lady? Would you send one of your people to help a stranger who could potentially have bad intentions? Would you let a stranger join you and live in your shelter knowing that he could be a spy? Find it out yourself, as this War of Mine offers a completely unique survival experience which I would recommend to anyone. Green Hell throws us into the middle of the uncharted Amazon jungle, inhabited by dangerous animals and a tribe whose members are aggressive towards outsiders. The title of the game fits it perfectly. Everything around you is green, and the game itself is difficult as hell. You can choose between a story mode where your goal is to discover the secrets of the mysterious tribe and a survival mode where surviving in the jungle is your main and only objective. Other than the classic survival game features, Green Hell came up with an innovative system which allows us to inspect our limbs to search for wounds or leeches. As we start the game, we know nothing about the flora of the area and we need to find out ourselves which plants are edible and which will cause food poisoning or death. The progression system is really well designed as we slowly turn from a lonely, scared survivor into the king of the jungle. Don't Starve is a game that needs no introduction, an absolute classic among survival games. The first thing you notice is the unique, charming art style, which later became an inspiration to many indie developers. Do not let the title fool you. Starvation is only one of many ways to put an end to your adventure. The world is full of dangerous creatures, but it is also full of useful resources to build structures and tools to defend yourself. There are 4 seasons in the game, and each of them comes with its own set of threats to make your life harder. If that's not enough, there are also many difficult bosses. Each boss drops a unique item which allows you to craft things that are unobtainable in any other way. That's a very interesting way to encourage players to go for the boss fights, which are not obligatory in most cases. Keep in mind that Don't Starve likes to punish you for every little mistake, and if you die, you also lose your map with everything you achieved on it. That being said, whenever you die, you need to start everything from scratch. The Forest is one of the few games that I wish I could erase from my memory and play for the first time again. At the beginning of the game, our plane crashes on a mysterious island. When our main character regains consciousness, he realizes that his son Timmy is not with him. Then, our main goal in the game is to find our son and make sure that he's safe and sound. The island is inhabited by cannibalistic monsters that we don't know anything about. The only thing we know is that they exist to make our lives harder. To defend ourselves, we can build structures, craft equipment, and set traps around our base to get rid of potential invaders. The game encourages us to explore the map, as wherever you go you will find some attractive loot and maybe even some new accessories to allow you to access new areas. The Forest is a horror survival game, but as you build up your character's strength, you become the one who shall be feared. Ark Survival Evolved is a must-play for all the dinosaur lovers. This game is all about surviving in a world full of those overgrown reptiles. You start the game on one of many available maps with nothing but your underwear and a piece of mysterious stone stuck in your forearm. At the beginning of the game, you are nothing but a free meal to all the carnivorous dinosaurs around you, but as you progress, you slowly become the predator by taming bigger and bigger monsters to fight by your side. Is there anyone who wouldn't want to ride a T-Rex and see all the living creatures around you run away in fear after hearing his roar? Yes, it is possible here, and it feels amazing. Additionally, you are not limited to land creatures. Tame a pteranodon and soar through the skies while admiring the beautiful views, or go for a megalodon to fearlessly explore the depths of the ocean. Each dinosaur in the game is good at something. Some of them have great utility, while others are great fighters. Grow your own army to beat the final boss on each map. Have you ever wondered how would you cope during a zombie apocalypse? Are you a fan of The Walking Dead who always wanted to be like Rick Grimes? Here's your chance. Project Zomboid is an isometric zombie apocalypse simulator which allows you to write your own story in a zombie world. We start the game as a regular civilian who struggles to deal with a single zombie and slowly work our way towards becoming a fearless, self-sufficient hero perfectly adapted to the prevailing conditions. There is no single correct way to survive. You can choose your own playstyle, choose a weapon you want to master, a food source you find the most reliable, decide if you want to be stealthy or to exterminate the entire city. The amount of possibilities in the game is undescribable, and the attention to detail it provides us could be an inspiration to the biggest game developers. There's just one thing you need to keep in mind before you play the game. It is extremely difficult and unforgiving, as a single bite from a zombie will kill you, which means you will need to invest some time to become good at the game, but it's absolutely worth it. Valheim is an open-world survival game inspired by Norse mythology. Something that differentiates it from other games of this genre are the retro-inspired low-resolution 3D graphics, which are a nod to older, experienced players, but at the same time they look good enough not to scare away the younger gaming enthusiasts. Our main goal in the game is to defeat all bosses and bring their heads to an altar. Sacrificing a trophy from each boss unlocks a usable ability which gives us a temporary buff to make our lives easier. I can easily say that Valheim has the best and most satisfying building system out of all survival/sandbox games I played. The game is also highly focused on exploration. There are multiple biomes, and exploring each of them feels very rewarding and allows us to gain new resources and unlock new crafting recipes. Valheim is a game where everyone can find something for themselves and is also one of the best survival games to play with your friends. Grounded has one of the best designed worlds I've seen in a survival game. And I'm saying that because of how different it is from everything else we've seen in this genre. Our antagonist was shrunk to the size of an ant and needs to find a way to survive in the backyard. Because of our size, everything around us seems extremely large, which brings a completely new perspective and possibilities to the game. Instead of chopping trees, we chop blades of grass. Instead of fighting skeletons, zombies, or ogres, we fight ants, ladybugs, and mosquitoes. Instead of mining metal ores to craft better equipment, we slay insects to use parts of their bodies to craft an armor. Every new item we find can be scanned in a laboratory to discover new crafting recipes. The game also has a very intuitive building system that we can use to create a place to call home. Try the game alone or with friends, but be wary. Grounded is incredibly addictive, and soaking into this beautiful world may cause the time in real life to pass faster than you would like it to. Subnautica, an absolute masterpiece. Exploring the underwater world of Subnautica was one of the greatest adventures I've ever experienced in a game. The wildlife of the ocean was designed with unbelievable care and precision. Not only it looks gorgeous, but every single plant and creature can be scanned to unlock its full, very detailed description. Explore the depths of the ocean, build your base, construct vehicles, and craft equipment to finally reach your goal, which is to build a rocket and escape from this place. Something every Subnautica player will tell you is that the game can be scarier than any horror game, so be ready to get jump scared by some enormous monsters looking like the ones from your worst nightmares. But that only completes the whole spectrum of emotions that Subnautica provides us with. The entire game is just a wonderful experience from your first dive to the credits at the end, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it yet.